Hello, everybody. It's me and dark mode Noah today.
Oh, I did forget to turn my light. Hold on.
It's me. It's me and dark mode Noah.
Oh, that's bright.
You know us.
What's up?
You know us. Feeling dark and late.
Dark and moody.
Dark and moody.
It is a rainy day today.
It really is. It's kind of gross outside. I gotta get this. I can't be having this jacket on.
You can't be having that jacket
What am
on.
I doing? Huh? What's this guy up to?
Yeah, what the heck is all this, Austin?
What's this guy
With your
doing?
big old jacket?
What the heck is this guy up to? Anyway, what are we got a somewhat shorter show today.
We do have a somewhat shorter
Somebody
show
was
today.
late. I don't know who that would be. I don't know. Probably like one of our interns or something.
Definitely.
Definitely one of them. Anyway, what are we talking about today? What's the deal, EO?
I'll tell you exactly what we're talking about today.
Please tell me what we're talking about today. Exactly.
First, we're going to exactly jump into talking about whether you should learn motion design first or design first, and the differences and how they work together. And then we're going to also talk about pricing yourself as a freelancer,
No way.
that kind of stuff. We're also going to talk a little bit about freelance versus studio positions.
Okay.
And maybe if we get to it, we'll talk about how to avoid burnout. But if we don't get to it, we'll do it tomorrow.
Wow.
We also have some hot recommendations,
Yeah, we
hot
do.
recs,
Yeah, we do.
some good ones today.
Wow, this certainly sounds like a rousing conversation, doesn't it? This is wow. I'd watch that.
I'm roused.
Hi, roused. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty roused.
Oh, what's up,
BRB
roused?
Changing. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Would you say that you're one of many roused?
Yes. Rhonda Rousdy actually is my cousin. So.
Oh, Roused, the College of Art and Design?
Yep. Yeah, I went to Raleigh. What up, Zimmerman? What up, Locos Lopez? Locos Lopez says, "What up, players? We're roused. No, we're not players. We just went over this. Come on."
Don't hate the game, hate the players. No, that's not how that goes.
Noah's a bit loud compared to Austin.
Ooh, that's new.
That's a first. I think it's just because we changed your gain yesterday.
Yes, that's right.
Don't worry, I fixed it. Oh, mine is actually really quiet.
Oh my gosh.
But for why?
This is a whole new world.
Well, I'll just be here, right next to the
that's-
microphone.
That's beautiful. That's
Thank
perfect.
you. All right, everybody. Shall we get into it?
Shall we get right into the news?
Let's do it. All right. Learning motion or design first? Pros and cons? This was a chat from yesterday.
This was a chat from yesterday.
Thank you, chat.
Put chats in the chat
For
maybe
tomorrow.
that your question will be the yesterday.
Yeah, next time.
Spends more time there.
We are both biased because we both learned design first. And I think that is
I'm fully in that camp. I think that's the way
really
to go.
overpowered. I think that's just straight up OP. I think if you're trying to learn motion first, that's got to be really hard on yourself, because how are you making good design to then be able to animate it? You know, it's and I mean, a quote from Woa D. Niled,
That's right.
esteemed motion philosopher. You know, I think you're one of his biggest fans, so if you could quote it, that would
Yeah.
probably be
I
best.
mean, I do really. He's an inspiration.
Well, we don't need to. We don't need to. Like,
No,
hype
that's
him up
fine. I'm done.
anymore,
I'm done.
you
I'm
know?
done. I'm done. He's just denied. Is just he's great. Great. Great design can hold up bad motion, but bad motion cannot. But great motion cannot hold up bad design. So, like, if you have a fantastic design and you're not the best at motion design, it can still be a wonderful project. But if you're a fantastic animator, but the design is just fundamentally not there, then it's just going to fall flat. However beautifully you animated something that is not great design, it doesn't really matter, because the design is the foundation, and therefore is, in my opinion, the most important part.
Agreed. Now, this isn't to say that there have certainly been projects in the past that have had the opposite of what we just said. It has been like, I am confident that we have good motion to the point where if we had some shitty design, we could make it still feel good. Like it'd still feel okay. And lots of people make design choices that I wouldn't necessarily agree with in motion, but they still make it work. So there are certainly some nuance to it, but more generally, I feel like design coming first is probably the way to go. Yeah. You just have such a solid foundation to then take that to do all sorts of things. I mean, I feel like it's the natural progression of a designer at this point, especially if they're starting at a young age. Graphic design, you know, they do the logos and the Twitter banners and the profile pictures and such. That's a fun group to be in. The
posters and the, you know, all the stuff.
That sort of stuff. And then you're like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
It can move too? And then you're like, wait, what's this motion? I can take this design I already know how to do, and now I can make it move? That's pretty cool.
It feels like a very natural process to go from design to then animation.
Because you're just adding adding that extra set.
Like maybe you already incorporated some sort of visual movement into it already, and you're like, oh, why don't I just make it move in that direction? Whereas if you were like an animator, you can already make cool things move. It's just about like, okay, well, what do I make in order to have the means to an end? What do I make to make a move? And that's just sort of abstract and like, I don't know. So it's about having the solid foundation first.
Design is so much more nebulous and difficult to describe than motion design is, in my opinion. Or than animation is, I guess. Because animation should just be the sauce. Like if you look at our process, which, hey, motion workshop people, so excited to chat with you guys in a little bit. We'll talk about this more. Thank you. Anyway, if you just take a look at like our process and the general process of a lot of studios, the most time and effort is spent in the design phases and the concepting phases. When it comes to the actual animation, that's the part where the Revi team is just turned into a speed demon at this point, and she'd be like, I know exactly what I need to do to animate this scene, sort of thing. You know, like it's very plug and play at that point, but it's the concepting and figuring out what would be good design to then motion.
Design to then motion.
That's the hard part, I think. Olgerd has it exactly right. You can break the rules, but first you need to know them. And I'm not going to say it any better than that. So there you go. That's it. Thank you, Olgerd.
Zovian asks an interesting question. When learning design first, to what level should you get to then go into motion design? I think that, you should kind of learn them at the same time, but there's no one size fits all for that answer.
We were kind of talking. We were kind of talking about this yesterday a little bit. You're never going to be fully prepared for anything, ever. So I think it's more of a mindset shift that needs to happen with that sort of thing. It's not what level should I get to. It's just, do I feel comfortable in my design sensibilities? Which to me, that comfort comes across as, can I make things that other people like, first of all. Some people, anyway. It's good to be divisive, but you don't want everyone hating you. But do other people like it? Am I like finding joy in this? Am I having fun doing this? And can I do it efficiently? Can I, like, if I give myself a time crunch that I have to work within, if I give myself a set of time, like an hour or something to create whatever would fit for you within an hour, can I do that? Like, can I stick to those timelines? That to me is a good mark of somebody who is prepared, more or less. If you can get to a place that you are generally happy within a time frame that you set for yourself on some project or short test or something, I think that's a really good metric.
And there you go. Design first, animation second.
Ooh, Israel says what are the sources of design fundamentals you recommend? I think it's all just consumption, truly. I don't know any books necessarily off the top of my head other than that Logo Modernism book. It's just such a great resource of just like hundreds and hundreds of design styles and methodologies and so on to be able to explore. But it really is like, I grew up in Houston where I hate it there because you go down the freeway and every 10 feet there's some stupid looking billboard with some really crappy looking design on it. So when there is like a billboard that sticks out, you're like, oh, this doesn't make me feel like shit when I look at it. You can start to pick up things that then you're like, oh, I must like this because of this reason. Like I'm starting to form what those fundamentals are to me. I don't really subscribe to a lot of the high tower design language that you would get from like schools, colleges, universities. Lots of it feels kind of convoluted. It's like learning insurance or something. You know, there's terms that mean it's like doublespeak. But I think it's just important to consume lots of design, whether it's advertising or just art or whatever, until you get to a point where you understand, like, oh, I think I like this stuff because of this reason, and you can start to formulate that yourself.
And eventually, you'll get a sort of instinct for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why design can be so difficult to teach sometimes, is because the people who have gotten to a higher level, it's kind of second nature to them at this point. It's more of a feeling. It just feels it's kind of hard to take themselves out of it and then go and distill that down explicitly to the people they're teaching.
We struggle with that all the time when trying to communicate ideas to the team, because Noah and I can just see these things in our head like super quickly at this point. It's like, okay, but how do I actually formulate that? Because I can feel like the weight of the composition and things in my head, and that's hard to communicate verbally. I
think if I were to say my favorite design principles to pay attention to, the ones that I think are most impactful.
Principal Johnson.
Yep.
His second tenure was really, really solid. Sorry, I continue.
I love it. Hierarchy, contrast, and composition. Compositional balance is so important and is just sometimes overlooked, especially in like new designers. They put stuff on and don't see the visual weight of all the things, and that visual weight also plays into hierarchy. Like things will be about the same size or the same, and
same.
There will be like two very different kind of things competing for attention, and that creates this like icky unbalance in the composition.
Can we get an icky in the chat?
Can we get an icky in the chat? And then of course contrast, because it all comes down to contrast. I have to be able to see the forms and, you know, play with that contrast all around, whether it be in type or in whatever element. And that goes into color, which is so important. If you don't really know how to use color, take other people's colors. Just yoink them. Steal like an artist. Absolutely destroy Behance with your color picker tool. Just yoink some colors, and then eventually you'll figure out sort of the color harmonies and what works and why colors are nice to each other and why some colors are not nice to each other. But don't, please, and I'm asking you as a friend, don't get a bunch of full saturation colors and put them all in a composition.
They don't like each other.
They usually don't like each other.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to use green, yellow, red, and blue all in one comp, full saturation.
All as bright as they can be.
Don't put them in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't do it. It hurted. But it can work. You just gotta finesse it.
I think somebody, I'm trying to find it, Roth in the chat is saying, I think to be a motion designer, you need to be a graphic designer to some degree at least. Yes. To
Absolutely.
me, we said it whenever we were hiring for motion designers in our listing. Motion designer is a very different thing than just an animator. Someone who just does the motion part is an animator, and someone who just does the design and concepting part is a designer. It's the merging of those two things that makes for this wonderful Swiss Army knife professional. So get good at both, because that's how you'll have, segue inbound, much higher rates and a better time selling yourself in the industry.
Oh,
Don't sell yourself short, kids.
Tell me more about that.
But first, before we get on to that topic, I want to make sure I got through chat really quick.
Okay, for it.
So Vian says, haha, my reasoning behind learning specializing motion design is because as a little lad, 10 or so, I knew I could make better ads than some were on TV. So now here we are.
I love that.
Gordon Howie, What up, Gordo? How
What's
you
up,
doing,
Greta?
bro?
How you doing, dog?
It says, I definitely think it's worth looking into the basics of composition, contrast, and colors. It will definitely help and spill into all other areas. Agreed.
Very true.
And then we got a bunch of people with Icky
Icky.
going on. Icky gang.
Icky gang.
Anyway, so pricing. Let's talk about it. I know y'all have all sorts of questions on pricing, so please throw them in the chat. We can go as deep as you want on this. But I guess what I'll start with is a tweet that I posted yesterday, because I just feel rather passionate about that at the moment. All right. Sam's from Morocco. Okay. Lots of motion designers from Morocco. Sam is a motion designer on the review team.
Yep.
Lots of motion designers from Morocco have very, very low rates by comparison to the rates here in the US or in Europe and so on. It was never a thought that crossed our mind at all to offer him any less than we were offering Mseti to come onto the team. And I mean, Mseti is here in the US with us. I think it is really fucking lame and stupid that people will tell other freelancers to charge less based on where they're living. Especially, I mean, it happens a lot in South America and just Latin countries in general. I don't understand why. I think a lot of the brunt of that force of change should be put onto the studios. I've had Christian, a guy that runs Cronimo Studio, when I posted this yesterday, commented that he literally had an exec at an ad agency in LA tell him to charge less because he is Latino. That's fucked up. That's entirely wrong and messed up. To me, good work is good work. And I had somebody on Twitter this morning telling me, but there's like language barriers and cultural barriers and whatever that could make that difficult. When we worked with Christian's crew, he translated for us. It's just taking the extra effort. And like, if you find that good work, like figure out a way to work with those people. And you shouldn't just be like, well, I'm going to charge them half the price of what everybody else is getting just because they're like in the Philippines or something. Like, what the fuck? That's lame. And to everybody out there who is sending us rates of like $100 a day or something because they're living in those areas, please know that the average rate that we're getting when people are applying for freelance stuff is like $400 a day or something. It is not uncommon to ask for that sort of stuff. If you're really putting out good work, then charge for it. Don't sell yourself short. I think it's really sad that there's so many talented people all over the world that just aren't getting what they should be getting, that everybody else is getting in the like higher value markets just because they live somewhere different. I know, like when I try and think of all of the top animators in my head, if I had to make like a list of top 10 animators that I really like, none of them are even here, I don't think. I think most of them, just like on a pure technical animation level, are outside the US.
Yep.
So there you go. And to anyone who said that I was wrong on that, I'm just gonna shut up. You're stupid for that. People should get paid what the job is worth. Anyway, whatever.
Absolutely.
That's what I'll say on that.
It's an international market, so the prices will eventually kind of even out, but it's kind of on us to
it's all remote.
push it there. It's on all of us to get it there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Gordo said, Christian, give me their address. I'll go sort them out. Seriously, that's what I'm saying. I was absolutely just astonished when I saw him post that. It was crazy. Yeah. But I also know that people would do that. It's just messed up. Anyway, what else should we talk about? The just wide variety of pricing in the industry. I mean,
so many strange ways to price.
I know it's all over the place. You've got your hourly rates, you've got your day rates, you've got your flat rates, and then there's like the what's the other one that we used to try to do, the performance based pricing, where it's like
or value based.
That's what it is. Yeah. So like that one, if we made an ad for somebody, we wouldn't actually have them pay for the ad itself. We would ask for like 3% of the sales that were made from the ad or something, which could make people a lot more money. But also, I am much more in the camp now that it's kind of bullshit to guarantee results to people. So, you know.
Unless you're a hair product, don't do it.
There you go. In which case, thank you, pros. Not sponsored, but very cool.
Gosh.
What up? We're on fire. How you doing? Zovian says you're too tall. You got to charge less. You know what? I really should have that happen. Someone needs to knock me down a peg.
Damn right.
Yep.
Damn right.
Dose of Motion says, you mean a studio in Morocco should pay $400? I'm saying that freelancers everywhere should just be charging similarly to what they see other people getting. Because if you're, as long as the work that you're making is of the same parity, with the people that are charging higher rates than you, you know?
Yeah.
But if it's just based on where you're living, I think that's just silly. If you're making shit work, then you're probably not going to get really high day rates or whatever, unless you're just a masterful salesman.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But then again, there are companies that get massive budgets for some very simple stuff.
It's true.
And sometimes that just comes down to reputation or good
Luck of the
salesman
draw.
or being at the right place in the right time.
Yeah. News V.
News S. What pricing we're using now?
Flat rate.
Flat rate.
So most
Per
of our
project.
pricing is based on the overall length of whatever project we're working on. So if it's like
The duration of the motion.
if it's like 5 different animations or something that are each 45 seconds, we would just add all the 45 seconds together and be like, okay, let's charge for whatever 200 something seconds of animation that is. And what that lets us do is be like, okay, so like a 30-second video is probably like this to this range sort of thing. And that way, that flat rate, we don't get punished for being super fucking fast at our jobs anymore. That was really annoying whenever Noah and I were getting paid hourly. Not to throw Chris under the bus, but just like a little tiny bit. So reviews originally started by 3 people, and I always worked pretty fast. Chris, our other co-founder, didn't work quite as fast. And so I would get like sometimes half of a video done or something. And he'd get like 25% of it done, but take 2 to 3 times as long as me. So despite me getting like most of the video done, I got like no money for the project at all, just because I was like faster at the job, you know? And which, hey, if you're a freelancer, I mean, day rates are one thing because that's a little bit more nebulous, but if you're charging hourly, I think as you get faster, you're only punishing yourselves because you're only going to be able to raise those hourly rates so high until they just look ridiculous on paper to new clients and such. But anyway, the flat rate benefits us in that way, but it also benefits the client because they know exactly what they're getting. They are getting this defined list of deliverables in this amount of time, and it's for this price. They pay 50% up front and 50% on delivery. There's no recalculating hours and things at the end to have them pay and whatever. It's just like
There's no surprises.
it's this much money, regardless. And then, you know, if there's a big change to the project, we just say,
It's rescoping.
here you go, add this much on the budget, and they're like, okay, most of the time. But yeah, that's it. Just flat rate seems to be the most flexible for things at this point.
It's easy for everybody.
You
And I mean, that's part of our jobs is to make the client's experience easy. That's it. That's the thing.
That's the thing. So if anybody else has more specific questions on pricing, feel free. But otherwise, we should probably move on to. Oh, see, wait, hold on. Question in the chat.
How would one get faster at coming up with good designs and also animating? I feel like procrastinating a lot when designing or animating, and it's hard to achieve a state of flow.
Force yourself to do it in a certain amount of time, like a ridiculously small amount of time.
Yeah.
Tell yourself that you're going to animate the next 15 seconds of your video in the next 30 minutes or something. And then treat yourself like you're actually in that mode, you know, like somebody else is telling you to do that and there's money on the line or something. And that pressure will help you get a lot more done and sort of give you a kick in the ass to like start getting in that state of flow. But also just practice. It just takes practice and being more comfortable with like having to throw out ideas really quickly. Like Noah and I now could get any project and probably be able to come up with a motion script within a day at this point.
Oh, yeah.
It might not be fantastic off the first get-go, although usually it is. But still, you know, it's really the time crunch helps me most. That was the only way I got any of the loops done. There's no way I would have been able to come up with ideas for those if I hadn't been like, I need to have a full idea for this in the next hour.
Sometimes doing anything else sounds more fun. And so you have to force yourself to, once again, get real bored so that whatever you're doing, the design, the animation, is the most fun thing that you can do right now.
Yep.
You just sit in a chair and let yourself wait until you want to do it. Honestly, that works sometimes.
Barbara says, why does Austin bring a
It's
second pair
Barbara
of
joke
pants
hour.
whenever we're playing putt party? It's because I wear the pants in this business.
Why does Austin bring a second
anyway.
pair of pants whenever we're playing putt party?
Gee, I really don't know. This is not an easy one to suss out because I'm also involved.
Because he's always slacking?
Oh. Except I always beat everyone at putt party, so I don't know.
You're
Can't tell
talking
if
to
this is
Whittle
gonna be
Ticky
positive.
Tiger Woods
Hey
right
man,
now.
you're retired at this point. I don't know what happened. In case he
Nah,
gets
I
a
whooped
hole
all
in
you
one.
so
In
many
case he
times.
gets a hole in one.
Oh my
In
God.
case he gets a hole. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank
That's
you,
a great one.
Barbara.
That's
And
a fantastic one.
Zovian, to answer your question about just randomly or internship, something you'd be interested in starting doing, Barbara is one of our interns, and we have had 2 interns before Barbara. So, yes, we would be interested in starting to do internships, I think. Maybe.
This is what we make our interns do. Go and chat and give us
Make
jokes.
jokes. Olgerd says, do you accept changes that a client wants after having sketches or storyboard and style frames accepted? Well, we don't do the whole sketch thing. We just give them the most high fidelity storyboard we can. We literally just build it out how we're going to need it to import into After Effects typically, and that's it. It looks like how it would in the video. And so by doing that, it's basically like we're getting feedback at the end of the project. Like the product is so far along at that point that there's not really been that many changes that have been made recently, especially on the animation phase. It's usually just like, this color isn't quite working in motion, or like this type isn't quite right, or whatever. Like it's usually semi-simple stuff. But anyway, aside from that, I mean,
If they have changes during the animation phase, then yeah,
we'll certainly
make the
accommodate them.
changes, yeah.
But at this point, it seems fewer and far between because we're at every stage of the process having a check-in meeting or making sure that they have a full deliverable they can look at, whether it's a script or a storyboard. Or sometimes we just give them the motion script just to make sure that they generally like that idea before we go into doing the actual design for that.
kind of depend on the kind of projects. There are different areas that you can check in. Sometimes it's like, hey, what do you think about this idea for a scene, or this idea for this concept for the video as a whole? And then sometimes it's like, here is an entire storyboard. Like, let's get into the nitty gritty. I mean, it just depends what kind of project it is and where you are in that project. My nose is so stuffed up today. I'm sorry, guys.
You're okay. All right.
But yeah, that's what's up. And now, the next.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
wake
Austin,
up
do you hire
first.
trainee?
Do you hire trainee motion designers for $5 an hour? No. At minimum, for an intern, we were doing like 12 to 15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, the next topic. Get excited. Is
I'm
it,
ready.
Austin, is it better to strive for a freelance or strive for a studio position? What do you think is a good option right now? Where's the
God.
motion industry going? You know,
As-
like what's
as-
that about?
As a previous freelancer and as a studio owner now, my brain is just so crisscross applesauce right now. I said something to Belle earlier this morning. I liked this saying. I'm gonna start using it more.
Okay.
Describe the brain as noodles in some fashion, and then say
Okay.
your noodles are tied in a knot. So they just got like a little. Anyway, whatever.
Your noodles are tied
My
in a
noodles
knot.
are tied in a knot right now.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I have something to say real quick before
Go
we
ahead.
jump into that.
Go ahead.
If I can remember it. Hold on.
Oh,
It
his
was-
noodles are tied in a knot.
My noodles are so tied in a knot right now. That's crazy. Well, we'll come back to it, I guess.
Okay. Train fell off the tracks. Choo choo. Anyway,
Knotted noodles. That
both
sounds like a good noodle shop. Knotted noodles.
both absolutely have their benefits, but I think a lot of it comes down to the type of person you are and where you're at in your career. I know
That's what I was going to say. All right, I remember.
a lot of people will freelance when they're younger, but as they get older, they end up going in-house because, I mean, unless you're the type of person that really loves the sales and business aspect, in which case you usually would start a studio or an agency or something, you're likely going to get tired of having to do that for yourself at some point, especially if you're only one person. You're not working in a collective or anything. Like it's difficult to make those connections and make that happen.
Yeah. Here's how I think the ideal like career path kind of goes with that. So you start young, you're freelancing, you're doing your own thing. Maybe you go to school, maybe you don't. And then for a little bit, you go in-house to a couple places. Maybe you spend a couple years jumping between places. You make a bunch of connections. You learn a bunch because working with other professionals closely in your field is one of the fastest ways to learn. And then you go freelance again, now at a much higher rate because you're a much more valuable animator, designer, whatever you are. And then from there, you have all those connections as well. And now you become an industry mogul. You are absolutely killing it. You have high-ass freelance rates, and you're doing a great job. And from there, you can either take, I think, the sort of like lax route if you want to just chill out and go back to like a studio and hang out in like a CD, like creative director position, something like that. Or you could like start your own thing. You could start your own studio. You could head down different routes and stuff. And I think it really branches off from there. But I think it's very helpful to freelance young and then have a little spot somewhere in your career where you're dedicated to working in a studio with other creative people very close to you, because I think that's just a really valuable experience for people to have. And then use all that value and all those connections and all that knowledge to go and make bank and really do some crazy stuff.
Cha-ching.
And I think really doing some crazy stuff, you know, some teams will have that like ability to let you sort of succeed. And I think Hornet's a good example of that, where their creative directors are really allowed to just sort of go do their thing. But some studios are a little bit more restrictive. And so, you know, wherever you land on that, maybe it's better to go do your own thing by yourself or like with a small knit group of other people versus staying in a studio that doesn't let you go do that. But I think it's important to at least try both.
Agreed. And on the hiring side anyway, for us, it seems like 99% of the time, if you have freelance experience, you are going to be a better team member in a studio because you just have so many more of those soft skills that are needed in that environment that somebody who hasn't ever experienced trying to sell something on their own before, or like trying to just stand and be their own like support, they just won't know.
In a good way. Yeah. Forces you to grow. It's great.
It's a wonderful experience in that way.
In this economy, right now, I think studio positions seem a little bit more like desired.
The competition now that there's all those tech layoffs, especially with the marketing departments of those tech companies, all those motion designers that were working in-house there are out on the prowl now trying to get projects. So, you know, freelance-wise, the market just got a lot more competitive for projects and such. So there's a bigger pool of fish to swim in as a freelancer at the moment, I think. And the studio pool stays tiny small. So take that how you will, I guess. But also recognize I am entirely biased as a person running a studio. So it is entirely to my benefit to have people want to come work with us. And to yours too. Ting! Ting!
That's right.
Yeah, but that's I mean, that's it to me.
That's it.
They both have their perks. You can, if you are a wonderful salesperson and you like the grind and the hustle, you can do really, really well as a freelancer.
Absolutely.
And you can make, or at least in the past few years, I don't know about now, you could make bank, like booking multiple jobs at once and whatever. I mean, I was listening to the School of Motion podcast the other day. Joey knew one guy that had got $400K in a year as a freelance motion designer, which like, what? How the hell are you making that kind of money? That's insane.
How'd you do that?
Like,
incredible.
What? You got to be doing so much work, or you just have like amazing connections or something. But I don't know.
Immense connections.
Yeah. All right, we should probably wrap this up.
It is time for Rex.
Time for Rex.
Time to get wrecked, y'all.
Time to get wrecked. You just let me know when you have your Rex pulled up. Actually, you know what? I'm going first today. Okay?
You want to go first?
Oh yeah, I'm going first.
Do it.
Hey guys, today we're gonna make a stop at one of our favorite studios, Tendril.
Tendril. If you don't know who Tendril is,
What are you doing?
I don't know who you are.
They changed their website. It's gonna be really difficult to find all of this stuff now.
Oh no, this is tragic.
But that's fine. Let's just to get a taste. Oh my God, do they not have the? They don't have the mattress thing on here anymore.
That's so tragic.
What? Hold on.
Oh my God.
Hold on. I'm gonna switch back to this for just a
Just
second.
chatting.
Tendril Studio Beauty Rest. There we go. It's still there. It's just hidden on a different page. Here we are. This video sums up Tendril for me. All right. The sound design, overall sexiness. It's just wonderful. Yum.
Incredible. Tendril is fantastic at what they do. Darn it, we talked about them, I think 2 streams ago. And their businessy stuff, their little collaboration. They just,
This
they're
part.
just killing it.
Yeah. A little And to not take up too much time, because I could be looking at their stuff all day, that is all the Tendril you get for the moment.
Yeah.
It's that
Check out
video.
their stuff.
That is my rec for today.
That video.
All right.
Alright. I got 2 quick ones.
All right, I'll switch over
They're
to you.
pulled up.
There
Wait,
you
do you
go.
want me to share sound?
Sure, yeah. If you Discord, moi, I will pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up. If that works for you. Gotta do it fast though.
It'll be just like dark on that, but the sound should come through.
Okay. It's not dark.
Cool. This one
Does this one not have sound?
has good vibes. It has sound. Do you not hear it?
Nope. Oh wait, I got it now.
Oops.
I got it.
Cool. Hold on, I skipped some bit. My bad.
Ooh. It's an orange. Oh, it is.
It's an orange. Some of the most interesting texturing I've seen. Look at that scene. Come on, the shell. It's just like such strong vibes.
Well done.
So
it's
interesting.
Very glowy.
Yeah.
The deepest of glows on that
The
shell.
deepest of glows.
All right. Zoom.
All right. One more. The music
Oh.
video for Lover Automatic.
How many views does it have?
This has 13K views.
Criminal.
This is so criminal. This is one of the best music videos
Totally
I've ever
gonna
seen.
get copyright stricken, but it's fine.
Oh, let me just turn off the sound then. If this song's actually very good as well.
It is. I didn't like it the first
check it
time,
out.
but now it's associated with the music video, and we've watched it
And
enough
it's
times for
so
I like it.
fantastic. The way they animate this, like the attention to detail, some of the best creative direction I've seen in such a long time. It's such a darn strong video. One of my favorite scenes right here is with this owl. He's so cute. I love him. And then one more section I'll show is with this car stopping. It has a little overshoot in the best way, and it bounces. It's so good. It's so good.
And
Check this video out.
when they blink, their pupils
blink.
actually like dilate, or opposite of dilate, they constrict. Like it normally would when
constrict
you
and
open your
get
eyes.
bigger.
Yeah. It's great.
It's some good
Just
stuff.
the extra little attention to detail. But anyway, on that note,
Those are our recs. Check out.
Those are our recs. We have to run to start our first workshop. Woo! I'm excited.
Woo!
I'm excited. We're gonna do it. If anybody has anything else that they want us to chat about tomorrow, feel free to send that in the chat, and we'll pick things out, and it'll be great. Ta-da!
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging. We will chat with you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.